Coming up after the break, you'll hear me, Paul DeBen, talking about my latest track, Who Am I Gonna Be?
Welcome to the show, Paul. How are you?
I'm fantastic, thanks, Matt. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Now, something really exciting happened just a couple of days ago. You released your latest single, and then just yesterday, you released your film clip for the single. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling super excited, Matt. This has been a long time coming, a dream realized. So, very, very excited for people to hear what I've been creating in the background for a long time.
So, when did the music journey begin for you, Paul?
The music journey from the beginning started when I was quite young. I started singing in choir at around the age of 12, I think it was.
Wow.
So that's where my love of music and singing started. Um, and I kind of dabbled in and out of it over the years. I didn't start writing music till I was probably in my early 20s. I started to write my first couple of songs. And then it had just been on the back burner until the pandemic hit us. And like many of us sitting at home and trying to work out life and what to do. And I thought, I think it's time that I really do this. I start to bring these songs to life. And yeah, that's how it started and where it began.
So, when you were a little boy, did you want to be a singer? Is that what you wanted to grow up to be?
Not initially. I always wanted to do something creative or artistic, so it would change. But yeah, it probably wasn't until I guess the choir thing happens where it was like, oh, actually, I think I really like this. And then I started to. I think I was always aware of music. Mum would always be playing music around the house in the car, so music was always on. But yeah, I think that's when it kind of started. I was like, actually, I think I really want to do this. I really like this. Yeah.
So, what type of music was being played in the house?
It was always very much what it was on the charts, so very commercial stuff. Adult contemporary at the time, so pretty big '90s stuff. A lot of Mariah Carey, a lot of Tina Arena, all those kind of artists back in the day. But then Mum would also be playing, John Farnham. Dad would be playing kind of older stuff from the maybe the '60s, '50s, and '60s. Engelbert Humperdinck and Dean Martin and those kind of things. And then Mum would also play a lot of Italian music as well, Bocelli and Eros and things like that. So yeah, all pop based, but a bit of diversity and a bit of eclecticness there too.
And quite the collection, nearly enough to make a mashup.
Yeah, yes, very much.
So let's talk about your latest single, which is Who Am I Gonna Be? What's this track all about, Paul?
It's a very so it's my first song out into the world, and it's quite introspective. It's really looking inside. Exploring my own journey through therapy and through self growth and personal development. Um, yeah, I always had this question of surrounding identity. I think a lot of us get caught up in characters or traits that we think are our own identity, and we
Mm.
relate to being as me and as us. And I guess yeah, through the song, I'm kind of really breaking it down. I'm breaking down. I'm coming forth with the question of if I actually let go of those things that I think are me, who actually am I without them? Which is quite a scary thought if you start to think about it.
Mm.
Um, and also just I'm also in the song talking about the conflict that comes with that. I think parts of us want to really stay put and be comfortable and not really rock the boat and shake things up, and then there's other things that are parts of us that are yearning to grow and want to step out of the boxes and the labels and the things that we put ourselves into. So the song's really an exploration of that theme.
So when you're writing a song like this, you're pouring yourself into it. Did you find that it was quite the therapeutic process for you as you were writing the lyrics?
it becomes therapeutic as the song takes shape. Songwriting for me is always a little bit tricky and a little bit raw of anxiety,
Mm,
because I think when you're creating, when you're starting from a point of zero, I guess you're kind of just you're throwing things at the wall and kind of seeing what works and what
mm.
sticks, and it just eventually, so that process is a little bit daunting and a little bit challenging, but once it starts to take shape, then it becomes very exciting and very therapeutic, and it all starts to flow out. So yeah.
And do you have like a particular place that you go to write, whether it's in your mind or maybe you like to go to Great Ocean Road? Is there any particular place where you get taken to?
Not a physical place, not yet anyway. Maybe I'll find that, but yeah, I think a place inside my mind where I start to kind of connect in and be like, okay, here's the space for me to be creative and to
Mm.
just pour out and express whatever's going on in my mind and my heart, and obviously, bring it out musically. And and it's a little bit different when say a journaling and when you're writing and singing. It just, I think it is expressed differently. So it's really special.
Are you one of these artists that tends to carry a notepad wherever you go?
I don't. I remember years ago when I was working in customer service. If I got an idea in my head, I'd grab a piece of paper and I'd jot it down. I'd do
Mm.
things like that. Now, I think these days, if a melody pops into my mind, I'll just pull out my phone and record it down quickly, because I find that if you don't do it in that moment, you tend to lose it. And sometimes they're really good ideas. So yeah, that's the kind of way I go about it.
Yeah, and I guess quite often we're laying in bed and things come to us as well, and we wake up in the middle of the night and we consciously say to ourselves, oh, I must do this in the morning. What do you do? Do you like write it down or get your phone out and record it, or how does it work?
Either of those two things. And I think especially when it's something that's quite striking, you're
Mm.
kind of like, I have to capture this right now, because I think it's something special and important to get out.
Yeah, because usually when you have a dream and then you wake up, you might remember it and you might not remember it.
That's right. And I find that if you're kind of in tune to it and you start to remember them or write them down, then your mind or your subconscious starts to actually, you start to remember them more. You become more aware of the dreams, opposed to kind of, oh, I think I had a dream, but I lost it. Don't exactly remember what it was about. So
Now, with whom I'm going to be, you got to work with a producer in Indonesia, in Bali. What was it like working with someone in a different country, bringing the song together?
it was fantastic. He was the second producer I had approached, I
Hmm.
believe. Obviously, at the time, we were in and out of lockdowns in Melbourne.
Yeah.
So it had to be done remotely. So that's a whole other way of learning to work with someone.
Mm.
Um, but I came across Chris Dorr is his name, and he was in Singapore at the time. He then moved back to Bali. But yeah, we were talking remotely and emailing back and forth about. We'd started working on one of my originals first. That's how I started working with him.
Mm.
And Chris is very generous. He's online. He's always he's a great producer. He takes the time to really explain to someone like me who's not the I wouldn't say that I'm the most technically advanced musician or anything like that, but I have musicality and I have ideas, and he's really great at explaining how to produce a song, when you bring in ideas, what kind of works and what doesn't, and why, the reasons that is. But he's really generous online with sharing that knowledge and that talent with other musicians and singers and producers that are out there. And so he from time to time will just share pieces of music, and this was one of the pieces that he shared. It was just a tropical house track that he put out, and I just instantly fell in love with it. It just evoked such emotion in me, and it
Mm.
brought feelings, and I just loved the groove and the beat, and I just thought, I think I can do something with this, definitely. So I asked him, I said, do you mind if I take it and write to it? He said, no, absolutely, go for it. Um, so then I worked with the track and I came up with the melody and the lyrics, and I sent him a demo of it and he thought it was fantastic. And so, yeah. And then we started to tailor the song a bit because obviously it was just an instrumental at the time. So we
Mm.
kind of structured it a little bit closer to a pop song, I guess. But essentially, it hasn't moved too far from its original form.
Yeah, because it's got a real summer feel about it.
It does. I was just going to say, I think what the people that I've showed, when you think of tropical beach house tracks like that, I think it tends to evoke more happy emotions, whereas I kind of took it somewhere a little bit more darker and introspective.
Yeah, I think when it gets to the chorus is the happy moment where you want to get up and, have a bit of a move.
Yes, it does want to get you to move.
Yes. So collaborations. Who's on your radar?
Other artists
Yeah.
to collaborate with. Oh,
Mm.
like the dream ones.
Yeah.
Oh, quite a few. Like I obviously grew up and love a lot of international artists, but I love our homegrown artists that have really made it on the scene and made it an impact worldwide. So Darren Hayes, I absolutely love him. Tina Arena, Natalie Imbruglia. They're the kind of few that I can think of off the top of my head that I love their songwriting. I love their craft. I love who they are as artists. So they would be the dream ones to work with. Absolutely.
Have you got a vision board?
I don't. It's in my mind, but I think I might have to get one out
Yeah, yeah. You need
and
to.
start creating it.
Yep. And the universe needs to start delivering on those for you.
Absolutely. That would be
Mm.
amazing.
Now, the film clip for this track was released yesterday afternoon. Where did this take place?
So we filmed on location in Mornington, in Victoria. So down by the beach and the cliffs there. It was, yeah, a great experience.
And what's it like doing a film clip and having all the cameras on you and having to do take after take after take? Does it get frustrating or you kind of just go with the flow?
It's a bit of both actually.
Yeah.
It is tiring because it's a long day. You are doing take after take. And I also decided to sing live
Mm.
because I wanted the authenticity to come across, and I didn't want it to look kind of lip synced and out of place and all
Yep.
that. I really
Yep.
wanted to capture it, so I was singing live for most of the day, and that was also a tiring process as well. So plus you've got the elements, you're outside. But it was, at the same time, whilst it was tiring, it was also elating and just, I had to pinch myself. I can't believe I'm filming my first music clip. This is just incredible. Took a little bit of getting used to performing in front of the camera. Not something that I'm overly familiar with, but
Yep.
I think it came across really well, and I'm super proud of it.
Oh, that's great, Paul. I guess the best thing is always having good weather.
Absolutely, yes.
So let's talk about you in the kitchen. And this is where the tough questions get.
Oh, okay.
What do you like in the kitchen? Is there something that you can make that's better than anybody else?
um, I oh, that's a tough one. I honestly I don't think there is. I tend to have replicate a lot of things I grew up eating.
Mm.
Very simple Italian Sicilian dishes. So your pastas, your risotto, and then a lot of just vegetable based dishes, stews and whatnot. So they're the things I kind of tend to go for. I've also, as I've gotten older, I've explored other cuisines. I love to make Indian curries and stir fries and things like that. So, but I no, I wouldn't say that I'm better than someone else at it. But I think I get by. I host friends for dinner, so I think I do okay.
Well, if the friends are coming to dinner, I think you're doing a good job, Paul.
No one ever leaves hungry.
Well, that's good. And at least they come back the next time that they haven't eaten something and something terrible's happened to them.
That is very true. Absolutely.
Coffee or tea drinker?
Oh, both. One coffee a day, maybe a few more teas.
Mm. And who are you listening to at the moment?
At the moment, who am I listening to? I'm listening to Darren Hayes' latest album. I've been loving that. What else have I been listening to? Um, I'm a big lover of the Cause, so I'm listening to Sharon Corr's latest album.
Mm,
Mandy Moore, her
wow.
latest album, and also a new artist in the UK who I did a vocal singing course with, and we became friends many years ago. Astara. She released her album Rise recently, and I've been absolutely loving that. So yeah, they're the kind of things on my radar at the moment.
So let's back it up a bit. You mentioned Darren Hayes there, who is just getting ready to start his Australian tour. Do you get to go?
He, oh, I'm going. I bought the tickets straight off.
Ah, and we've got the cause also coming. You going?
Yes, I am planning to go. Absolutely.
Ah, because if you're going to see the cause, at least you'll also get to see Natalie Imbruglia, and
I
she's an
know.
artist that you mentioned earlier.
Yes.
And you'll also get to see one of my favorite artists of all time, and that's Tony Childs.
Yes, she's incredible as well.
So yeah, you'll have to definitely get tickets for that one.
We'll definitely be going for that. Yes. Coming up after the break, you'll hear me, Paul DeBen, talking about my latest track, Who Am I Gonna Be?
So what else is on the agenda for 2023? Your debut singles out, the film clip for your debut singles out, more songs, maybe an album. Where's it all going, Paul?
Definitely more songs. I've already got a few other tracks finished and
Mm,
ready to go. So it's just about finding the time and the finances and being creative with coming up with, I guess, release plans
yep.
and video clips for those. Album, that would be a dream. I'm probably a few songs short of an album,
Hmm.
so definitely possible. Again, it just comes down to time and finances, but that would absolutely be a dream to do. But yeah, definitely more music for this year. Absolutely.
And do you find that people these days are listening to more digital music as opposed to going and buying a CD or going and buying a vinyl or even now a cassette? Cassettes are coming back.
Sadly, yes, more digital.
Mm.
Although, as we see, there's like the resurgence of vinyl that's coming back around.
And
But yes,
apparently, we sold more vinyls in 2022 than CDs.
it blows your mind, doesn't it? It
It
really
does,
does.
considering the price
Um,
as well as a vinyl compared to a CD. That's what surprises me.
I know, but it also points that people still love that physical item and having
Mm,
having it to touch and putting it on and looking at
yes.
the artwork and the lyrics. I think that's what is really missing for me anyway from digital music. Um,
Yeah. It's
there's
that
just something really
physical.
special.
Yeah,
Mm,
it creates that whole atmosphere and gets you into the zone when you're listening to it.
it does. It's an experience.
It's been great chatting.
Absolutely, Matt. Thank you so much for the opportunity. It's been lovely chatting, and thanks for having me.
You're welcome and congratulations on the release. It's going to go far. I can feel it.
Thank you so much, Matt. Really appreciate it. Coming up after the break, you'll hear me, Paul DeBen, talking about my latest track, Who Am I Gonna Be?
Welcome to the show, Paul. How are you?
I'm fantastic, thanks, Matt. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Now, something really exciting happened just a couple of days ago. You released your latest single, and then just yesterday, you released your film clip for the single. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling super excited, Matt. This has been a long time coming, a dream realized. So, very, very excited for people to hear what I've been creating in the background for a long time.
So, when did the music journey begin for you, Paul?
The music journey from the beginning started when I was quite young. I started singing in choir at around the age of 12, I think it was.
Wow.
So that's where my love of music and singing started. Um, and I kind of dabbled in and out of it over the years. I didn't start writing music till I was probably in my early 20s. I started to write my first couple of songs. and then it had just been on the back burner until